guys, so I'm doing I do this every year. It's kind of become my little YouTube tradition, I guess. We're doing my year in review. And I kind of go back and I look at I kind of look at, my video from the year before. And then I just kind of go off on the things. What did I accomplish in the last year and what I'm trying to work on for the upcoming year. And I'm always a few days late on this, especially because I've been working. So that's life. So let's see. So looking at things I was talking about last year, working on my disordered eating. I have been working on that in therapy. Just trying to address trauma that fuels that issue. And I mentioned before about just being on the spectrum, and that sort of also being a stimming thing, and trying to figure out how do you rewire that aspect. Obviously that's a lot more of a complicated aspect that will take time, but I will be continuing to work on that. Therapy is an ongoing process, and you just gotta keep at it. I do a lot of not every session I have is EMDR. They kind of go between that and just sort of, I guess, talking through things like normal talk therapy stuff, or sort of brainstorming. I don't know. We have a flow, and I really like my therapist. She's really good. So, I can tell that the EMDR helps, but all things take time, especially when you have, I have, the smaller trauma aspects that feed into my disordered eating, because it's not even fully binge eating disorder. I have aspects of that, but I also have had some issues that would fall into some bulimic or just general disordered thinking or habits. So I'm disordered eating unclassified, basically, so that's just how me and my therapist just refer to it, as my disordered eating. I think I'm mostly, while I didn't really lose weight in the last year, I didn't really gain much either, so I guess that can be a win. Even though I would like to get my weight back down, which is always a goal, but that feeds into the disordered eating, so I don't like to put numbers on things. But I think for this year I'm looking more into things that are more tangible to me. I'm working on trying to up my daily steps to average out to 10,000, because I think this is something I actually started working on a little bit, but there's still some I can look at my Fitbit and stuff in my app, and there is some kind of variance into my averages, but I probably in the last year, and I wish Fitbit would give me a year overall, because there was some earlier in the year I was averaging maybe 5,000 to 6,000 steps, and then lately my steps have been closer to 6,000 to 8,000 depending on the week. So I've been trying to get it back up there a little more. So I would like to have an average overall of 10,000. Because I always end up having a day my lazy Sundays are days where I'm catching up on sleep. So I know not every day I'm gonna hit that, but if I can make up for it in the other days in the week, that would be nice. I seem like I can, even on a lazy day, easily get 2,000 steps, which is good, but I'm just trying to be more conscious about that. Another thing I like to work on is general upper body strength, upper body muscle, and then this is also the other part of the walking with my knee. You watch my vlogs, my knee has been having more issues. Possible arthritis. I have not gotten in to see the orthopedic doctor yet. I don't exactly have health insurance, so it's all going to be an out-of-pocket thing for me, but just based on all the signs and just the fact that, you know, whenever everything happened, I got my surgery, my doctor pretty much said I was guaranteed to end up with arthritis at some point. But yeah, my knee clicks real bad and it's popping and it's just gotten bad. So that's another reason to want to kind of work on the muscle, and the muscle will help towards the weight loss. So I don't put numbers on there. Like, I'd like to just generally work on stamina, and like, me and stairs have not been getting along. Even though I live on the second floor, like, the knees have just been, it's been hard on me, like, pain-wise. So, I'm trying to do everything I can to take care of it. Like, back on my little side table over here, wherever I have like a knee heating wrap that I put my bad knee, I put on my bad knee, and I do that every night when every morning, noon, since I work third shift. Put that on before I sleep and just try to like have heat treatment on it. I try to remember to take glucosamine for my just general, like, glucosamine is like a joint support, if you don't know what it is. It's a glucosamine chondroitin. And then, well, for a while I was trying to rub CBD cream, but I don't have any more CBD cream, I think. I think I used the rest of it. But I just try to do everything to try to take some of the edge off on my knee. I mean, any little thing, like, is it like a stellar improvement? No, but it's just making life manageable at this point with my knee. Because when you got bad knees, it just makes you feel older than you are. And it's really hard to like push yourself. I talked last year about my teeth and about how I need to get my wisdom teeth pulled. I did not do that this year. I think I was so focused too on making sure I got my debt consolidation paid out that that's such a big financial thing to do that was not priority for me. Even though this one still bugs me a lot, but I've been keeping up on my cleanings. I've been getting them every 4 months. Even though my insurance doesn't cover the last one in the year, it only covers me for 2 a year, which sucks butt. I used to have better dental insurance, but that goes through my work, so there's only so much I control there. I literally just had to pay a bill because it came back and they're like, no, we're not covering that. And it's like, dude, I already had all the expensive shit done, man. Like, you could have just paid the $75 or whatever, or 78 and change, but no. Not like I don't pay for my fucking insurance for a reason. Whatever. So, yeah. The wisdom teeth's still a thing, and I'm not even gonna say that I'll get it done this year or not, because this year there's gonna be a lot going on, so if it gets done this year, it's gonna be later, unless this cavity here really gets bad. But I'm trying to avoid as much as I can. Like I said, I've been trying my best to keep up my flossing, which was one of my resolutions like years ago, to get back in get into a regular flossing habit, which I've kind of slacked on lately a little bit, but not as bad as I used to be. So, but I always keep those little floss picks around, and I just try to keep my teeth generally clean, or, I don't know, the dentist told me that the flossing probably helped a lot whenever I was having before I started going back to the dentist, that it kind of kept my gum issues from getting worse before I got all the deep cleanings and stuff, so. I didn't do my eye appointment either. I suck. Okay, here's the thing. I suck at making appointments. I really do. Like, extremely. This is like one of my anxiety things. Like, I think people who have this issue understand, like, if I can make an appointment online, I will be much more likely to do that. There's still some anxiety for me, just like trying to like plan an appointment or like doing something that I've not messed with before. That's kind of part of it for me. Like, if I'm not familiar with the office, like, or like what I'm doing, or like I've never had to schedule like getting with an orthodontist or whatever to get the wisdom teeth out. So like these sorts of things, there's like, this is like kind of my neurodivergence or whatever, where it's like there's like this hill in my head of getting over, like just the process of doing something new, even if it seems simple to someone else. My brain, it's like a lot of like mental stressing. And this is why I had so much issue in school too, like especially college. And I literally have nightmares about college now because it was just such a bad experience for me. Like, not for me. Like, I just have these nightmares that I'm back in college and I'm like, no. Well, I was in the community college, but still, like, school's not for me. It's just way too much. But like I said, I did finish my debt consolidation this year. Not quite summer, it was a little bit after that. I think it was September going into October. And it's part of that's because my sister loaned me like the last 2 months and then I paid her back. So I was fully paid her back in November because I only had to borrow $1,400. And then she ended up letting me keep $100 as, no, $1,450, she gave me $100 as my birthday gift and like part of my Christmas gift. So I paid her back $1,350 by November. So all that's taken care of. We're trying to figure out what to do with car situations. Yeah, I mean this is kind of like an immediate thing. I need to get my van fixed up. That's one issue. Because, well, we're not quite sure. Like, originally we're going to sell my van, but we might just keep it just in case. Because I don't want to have to think about trying to get that thing legal. I have to replace a taillight on it, and that's not fun. I gotta take care of the cooling system right now, though, and I need to order the parts, and then I need to contact someone who I know from my job, but he didn't work with me specifically. He was janitorial, but apparently has a lift. And this is another thing, contacting people. I suck at it. I talked to him a little bit, and like he knows me, but I feel like my fiance talked to him more when he was there. But I gotta figure out how much he charges for his lift. But I don't know why I'm talking about that. That's more of like an immediate thing. But this is just like my brain, like, big obstacles sometimes. I don't know how to get through that, and this is something I've talked with my therapist. It's just like this, like, overwhelming anxiety of like taking on tasks sometimes. Like, once I get used to doing something, it's a little bit different, but I don't know, there's certain things that always give me anxiety. Car shit always gives me anxiety. Scheduling appointments and calling places always gives me anxiety. It's especially just medical stuff, and it's not that for me it's not a fear of actually going to the doctor. I could give a shit less. Like, once the appointment's scheduled, nothing else bothers me about it, really, unless I get a shitty doctor, which I've had, which definitely partly can feed into my anxiety of discouraging me from going back to certain people or trying to find a new doctor in a certain field. Been there before a few times. So I think another thing I had mentioned, I'm gonna make a little list here, and I'm kind of fidgeting it because this is just me and my little, can't help myself. Well, this is the last year I was going to try and learn Photoshop. I don't even have the Photoshop anymore because we don't have the Adobe Suite anymore. I just have Premiere Pro because it's just too fucking... I fucking hate you can't just buy the programs outright anymore. So I need to find just a cheap little photo editor to kind of try to learn something that's like makes more sense for my brain. Because I don't find Photoshop for me like the most intuitive, but like that's just because I'm not very good at operating it. Like my fiance's a lot better at that. Oh, another thing I had mentioned last year was talking about like trying to mess with my tarot cards more and that sort of stuff, and just like kind of general spiritualism stuff. Kind of messed with them a little more than the year before, but not as much as I was kind of doing like a card pull here and there, and did a few kind of small like reading things, but didn't really mess with it enough to like feel like I was really like practicing much. I don't know. We're going to 2023 here. Got a big year ahead of us. Woo-wee. See, next month is Loveburn in Miami, and we're helping me and our friends have a camp that we're running called Disputed Flame. If you're gonna be there, you could, you know, come see us. They're good. We'll have some art. I think they're trying. Now, this is not official, but they were talking about a PlayStation hot tub. I don't know if that's official, but we got some crazy art stuff that our little group chat's been messing with. But I know there will be a kava and kratom bar, tea bar that we're running for the camp, and a neurodivergent general lounge, just like low stem, high stem, I guess. You're like a cozy place for people who just need to like get away from people for a moment. So, because we're a group of neurodivergents, so I'm gonna kind of help with like some comfort things in that area too. I'm bringing like some, because I'm one of these people, like when I'm trying to like relax, I don't like my feet in the dirt. That's just a me thing. So I'm bringing my like little tatami, like plastic mats or whatever you want to call them, to spread out for the rest and like relaxation kind of area there, just to kind of keep our floor space you know, as clean as possible. You know, bring a cheap broom and stuff, and have things that can make the area as clean as possible. I mean, you can only avoid sand so much, but I do like those plastic mats because they can kind of you know, shake off easily. So, not sure where our camp placement is yet. Won't be up on the beach like we were last year, but we were a different camp last year, but that camp did not get approved as far as I'm aware, which that's apparently a whole other mess. I'm not sure if someone pissed somebody off. I mean, whatever. Somebody got on a power trip and got mad about the speaker setup. Dumb shit, in my opinion, but whatever. Gotta work on savings. Putting money aside for a house. That's a big thing. But we have our wedding that's gonna be in May. And we gotta finish, me and Lacey gotta make all our stuff for the wedding and finish kind of planning our general setup for the camp for that, because we're gonna be doing interviews. And then I also gotta figure out, once we actually know the dates for interviews, so I can actually like plan around that, because I want to do something with the family like the weekend after for the wedding stuff, because obviously only like not everyone's gonna be at interviews. Obviously it's an event. This was just kind of our choice for like an actual wedding ceremony thing we'll do there, and then we can have a recording and everything of it, and you know, family can see it, and we can have like a gathering the weekend after for anyone who couldn't come to the wedding, or if someone wants to go to both, they can go to both. But I think I'm just gonna, I was looking at prices to rent out the like gazebo things that are like local parks and stuff, and I think we'll probably do something like that, because they're only like a couple $100, and just do like a potluck thing. Because I ain't trying to spend buku dollary dues on a wedding, you know. We're very much, let's be level-headed about stuff. Because we want to, this is another one of our goal things. We want our honeymoon to be Burning Man. So, fingers crossed on all that. That's a big thing to take on. This is also why I'm trying to work on my stamina and health in general, because that is the big burn. That is the big boy. And you definitely need to have your wits about you and your health in check. So, and then of course the financials are another thing, which is something that, you know, we're both working on, and my boyfriend's, you know, working on getting his stuff paid down and that, and he might have another job opportunity coming up. It's a little, we're not sure, because it would have him moving out of state for a little bit if he takes it, which is, I don't want to move out of Missouri personally. I have too much, like, see if this makes things complicated, where I have a lot of my stability where I'm at right now, and I told him I cannot uproot my life. Like, I don't want to lose my mental health team, basically, in my stable job, and I don't want to depend on him to pay everything, because not only do I think that's not fair, but also as someone who's been in, like, pretty emotionally abusive, manipulative relationships, I don't like that dynamic. I don't like the dynamic of relying on someone else. I need to have my own money coming in, so that's a whole thing, and none of this is for sure. This is literally something that just recently came up, but like I said, we got a big year ahead of us, and, you know, I told him, like, whatever happens with that, we just gotta communicate, and we gotta make sure that we make time for each other no matter what happens. Kind of complicated situation, and nothing's set in stone, and this is literally, like, a new thing that came up very, like, literally last night before I recorded all this, so you can see, like, when he first brought it up, it was a little distressing for me, but I don't think, I have faith in the both of us to manage that situation if it comes up, even despite it will be hard, but we also know that we will do our best to make the time for each other and make sure we're not neglecting our relationship, because we both are very much in love with each other, like soulmates for sure. So, you know, we do what we can do for each other. So that is a potential of something in this future year, of a potential of, you know, having to keep the relationship strong with each other, and him traveling for work, and or potentially traveling for work. None of that's, you know, like I said, not set in stone. I'm just kind of rambling. So, you know, there's potential there, but it could help us towards, you know, a house in 2024. You just never know. Life is weird like that sometimes. Oh, and why I even forget that, of course, switching apartments, which should, I should ask my landlord about it, but could be at the end of this month, could be sometime next month. Not completely sure yet, like, because there was a little stipulation thing, like, so there was a lady that passed away in one of the apartments, like, on the other side of my building, and they were waiting for the family to, like, take care of the cleaner apartment out before they work on it, and they give her till the end of the year. So I'm not sure how that process went, if they've started to look at it, or if they even know if it's because she said it might have been one of the disabled units, which is set up a little differently too, and so she wasn't even sure of that yet, because she couldn't remember which apartments are in which building. So she had to check all that out before she let us look at it to see if it's something we want. because since it's set up a little bit differently and things are kind of set lower, I just want to make sure it's not like awkward for both of us. And then basically that's our option right now, potentially, because we can't move out from into another building the way this apartment complex is set up. And that's because this apartment complex gets like a certain tax credit program thing where like they can't raise the rent more than like a certain percentage at a time, and so they have to meet certain financial stipulations, and basically if we don't want to have to reinsert our income, we have to stay within the same apartment building. So if we move to another apartment building, based on both our income, we wouldn't qualify to go to another apartment within this complex. We're fine where we're at right now, as far as like when we renewed this lease and everything. Like, you don't have to, after you're in a building for a certain amount of time, you don't have to go by the income cap things anymore. But wanting a 2-bedroom, we have to stay within the same building unit. It's so fucking weird, and I don't even know if I did a great job describing it. But basically, the only 2 bedrooms we can get is in this building, and this building has less 2 bedrooms than other buildings. Because apparently this and our building are the only ones that have 1-bedroom units, and I didn't know that. Or no, 2 other, was it 2 other or 1 other? Whatever. She said she had someone else in the same exact situation as us in another building where they're up for swapping to a 2-bedroom, but they have to wait for one to open up in their building because they don't qualify to reinsert for another building. So yeah, it's complicated and frustrating, but basically I gotta figure out what's up with the unit that the one lady passed in, if it's gonna be one that we can take over, or is it one that we're gonna be able to use, or if she's gonna need to keep it for if it's a disability unit that they have to keep open for a disabled person. Like, if there's someone disabled coming up on the list, they have to offer it to them. So that could really put a damper in things. We should be moving, but that could, you know, slow the process down. So, who knows? That's, like I said, 2023, a lot going on. We'll be, doing our best to, meet goals. We'll be busy, busy, busy. Busy little bees. Anyway, guys, that's everything from my 2022 year in review and looking into 2023. You can subscribe if you want, because I post random shit.